Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be setting up this B6 Archer and Olive notebook into my new planner. This is actually the second episode of setting up this planner, and I cannot wait to dive into this with you, so let's get into it. And hey, if we've not yet met, I'm Brenna and I help people connect with creativity. Here I'm just picking out some supplies to work in my planner, and today we're going to be setting up a page or two in the beginning of the planner and some in the back. So here I am just working towards setting up a little intentions and index spread. So I have some materials that are all linked below if you'd like to know what I used. And I am setting up a little place here in the beginning to jot down my intentions for this planner. And then in episode 1, we gave this notebook page numbers, so hence the index. That is very helpful to have page numbers for the index. So here's the first little bit that I set up in the planner. Pretty happy with the way it turned out because this one is more of a fall theme since it spans September through December of 2026. The next section that I chose to set up was a notes section in the back of the planner. So you may have seen there's little post-it notes on each page telling me what each page is going to be. So I flipped through those and found the notes section, and here I am just decorating that a little bit. I left a bigger section this time for notes because I filled up the notes section in my last planner. And then I'm just adding some fun little decorations here from Notebook Therapy. And again, all the supplies that I've used, or the companies at least, are linked below so you can explore some supplies if you wish. So here is the first notes page. And I'm also happy with the way this one turned out. Always nice to have that little moment of joy when you finish setting something up. And also, I said this in episode 1, but on this planner, I'm actually trying to make it a little more matchy with the season. In previous planners, I haven't been super concerned with that, but on this one, I was purposefully trying to make it feel like fall. So I used my fall supplies and some fall colors and just some things that I thought really reminded me of that fall moment in the year. So these are little deco pieces that I'm adding to finish up this little spread. And then I'll show you the finishing notes section. So here is page 1 of the notes section. And then if we flip, we can see the next page that's similar but uses slightly different supplies. And then we have a page 3 spread of notes. There's more room in the back, so I may end up adding more decoration to those pages as well. But for now, I'm happy with this pages of notes section. So next things next, I'm flipping back to the front of the journal, the planner, to create a bit of a calendar spread. That is something that I like doing in my planners to be able to look ahead. So I have a bunch of stamps that I'm going to look through, but I have a calendar stamp that I'm going to use. And for me, in my last planner that I made out of a notebook, I had an annual calendar in there, and then I also had the next few months as well. So I felt like that worked really well for me, so that's what I'm going to create again. So yes, we're going to put in the next few months first and then do an annual calendar for 27. So you'll see me do that here shortly. I super love this Forever calendar stamp from Archer and Olive. It's awesome. I use it a ton, especially when I'm setting up planners. So I am putting the next 4 months, the time span of this planner, into this page, this spread. And you'll also see later that I add some double line highlights to take notes next to each of the months. So that works too, and that's how I did it last time, and I just felt like that was pretty effective. So I'm just stamping on the dates, or rather the month names, to make it a little more clear. And then here I'm going to also do the second line highlights, but check it out. Before we decorate it, these are just the simple stamps on the page. And as you can see, I had to white out some 31s for September and November, but all good. I did that. So here I'm just adding a little 26 so that I remember what year it is, because that's hard sometimes, lol, but true. Anyway, and then I add some kind of fall-y sort of tape on here. And then I use 2 different light colored markers to make the second line highlights for my notes to the side there. And I'm mostly really happy with this spread. I do enjoy keeping it simple, but I did have the idea to add just a couple more decoration pieces. So here I am with a bit of decoration from Everyday Explorers Co. And so I'm just adding a couple of little stickers to finish out this spread. And yes, so I like having a ton of different materials to work with, because then I can get exactly what I need basically. And boy, do I have a collection. It's awesome. So anyway, here I am just adding those kind of themey colors, a lot of orange in this one, so chose to add the orange and then some blue in here. Works for me, right? So now I feel that this spread is pretty much done. May add some more in the future, but anyway, we're going to move on to the annual calendar now, which I do on a separate sheet of paper so I don't mess up and mess up the planner, because messing up is something I do a lot. So anyway, I'm just laying out all the months in pencil first to make it easier before I go in with the pen. And as you can see, I have my other one to the side there for reference, because I did a similar annual calendar for 2026 in my last planner. So that was helpful. Definitely wanted to do that again, so hence the helpful reference to the side. And as I get into the last little bits of setting this calendar up and then filling in the numbers, I just wanted to say that if you're not a fan of spending all this time to handwrite your own calendar, that is totally understandable. And there are a ton of printables online that you can easily get, especially if you have a printer. It just makes it so easy to not have to sit here and fill out every single day of the year in pen. So if you're not a fan of that, I find it very meditative, but if that's not you and you're like, I do not have time for that, that is understandable, and you can always get a printable. So wanted to call that forward as well and just say about printable lands. I have so many printables as well in my computer, but yes, calendars are one of the main ones that you can get easily. So next, we actually have to affix the calendar into the planner, and I do that and then start decorating. And it took me a little bit to figure out what kind of deco I wanted to use for this page, because I was using that stained glass sticker roll, but anyway, tried it, didn't love it, so went with some other stuff. And here it is, our annual calendar for 27 all set up, and I do like the way this one turned out. I think it is very cute. Yay! In some of my planners recently, I've put an About Me page, so that's what I work on next. I'm doing a little bit of decoration for a bit of a page where I can say a little bit about myself. I think that's a fun addition, a fun little collection page to a planner or journal is an About Me page. So I'm just picking out deco that I enjoy and that goes with the fall theme of the journal. And I just am noticing I'm using a lot of vintagey feeling elements, and that feels really nice. So anyway, I started to stamp out some headings for this page, and then you'll see me a little later go in and fill in the writing for each of the headings. But yeah, I went through and thought about the biggest aspects of my identity that I wanted to share. This is the old About Me page that looks super duper cute. And then I'm using that as inspiration for the new one. So definitely have the top 3: Artist, Deep Feeler, and Cat Parent. There's some other things I might want to represent on the About Me page, so we shall see. I have these letter stickers that I really like, so I added my name. I'll do that in a second. And I like the kind of messy, sort of graffiti look that comes with these ransom note letters. I use them a lot in my planner, and it works very well as a kind of a fall theme as well. So funny story, my partner's name is Tree, as you may remember, so I put tree hugger in here. I think I'm funny. And also Maphist, that means I choose not to consume mammals. So anyway, basically pescatarian plus chicken is how I eat. But anyway, that's another podcast. So yeah, here I am just filling in a little bit of info about each of the headings for the About Me page, and here it is finished in my cursive. I really like the way this turned out. I like the pictures I added. And so, the next part was to do the nameplate page, which is always really scary, so I don't do it first usually because it's scary. So I just put a little post-it over my phone number, lol, because I do not need that on the internet. But anyway, I always put my phone number in the front of my planner so that if for some weird reason it gets lost, somebody can return it to me. I've never lost one before, knock on wood. But I would never want that to happen. So here are the pages that I've created today. Super happy with all of them. And I think that one thing that's really nice is that they're very visually cohesive. And that was, like I said, a goal for this planner, more than some of my previous planners. And then we'll just flip to the back and see the notes section. I am going to be setting up another episode of this planner setup series. And we'll get into the monthly collection pages and all of that. So yay. But just wanted to go ahead and show y'all, how I set up my planners. Thanks for being here. Give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and leave a happy face emoji if you made it to the end. So until next time, it's been real fun. Bye!